I'd like to welcome to the show today. I have JR from the band Love and Death. Welcome, JR.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely my pleasure, man. We're here today to talk about your band's new album. It's called Perfectly Preserved, and it is out on the 12th of February via Earache Records. And yeah, I'm loving it. I've been fortunate enough to get a pre-copy, and yeah, there's some absolutely like great tracks on there. Is the word I'm looking for.
Thank
But
you.
but yeah, I mean, you guys, you've released a couple of tracks already. You released Down at the end of last year, which was a great introductory track to it. And then you've just released a visualizer for White Flag as well, a couple of weeks ago, I believe. And that's got a special guest on there as well. And that was, oh God, was it Ryan Hayes?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, this album, I've got a few questions about it. One
Yeah.
you've probably got quite a lot, but no, tell us a little bit about it. What was the sort of the journey of it?
Well, we had started writing for this back in like late 2014 actually. Because our last record released in 2013 and right around that time Brian had made his way back into Corn and stuff, and also our producer at the time, Jason Rao, he uh, joined Breaking Benjamin. So, and then myself, I joined another band as well called Islander for a couple years. So, everyone was kind of spread out on their own schedule, doing their own thing. So it was kind of hard to get together to like, you know, write a record fast, and get it done kind of thing. So it's been like a 6-7 year process to actually get it done and finish it. So there's some songs on there that were written like 3-4 years ago. There's some songs on there that we just wrote back in 2020. So it's like a mixture of like it's like a weird like time capsule of songs.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, it's been quite a journey getting it done. Just coordinating, getting everyone together to write, and then a lot of it, was just over the computer kind of thing, just collabing
yeah,
and writing that way as well. So, um, but yeah, that was pretty much how it happened, just over the internet for the most part. So,
yeah. A lot of that's happening right now, obviously, with the global pandemic and whatnot. A lot of bands have had to sort of like collaborate over using cloud services to transfer the files over to them, and using
yeah,
services like we're using right now just to sort of like get a writing session in and stuff like that. So
yeah,
obviously if you guys were spread out, then that's it's the most efficient way of doing things on that
yeah.
front. How has the situation like with COVID affected things? Because obviously you've kind of you're bringing out an album, and I've spoken to a few bands over this time over the last year, and a lot of different kind of like attitudes towards it, in as much as whether they're going to postpone the release or just continue plow through and just try and do online content and stuff like that. So how have you guys adapted to that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's affected everyone. I mean, the biggest thing is touring, obviously.
Yeah,
That's like the main thing for everyone who's part of the music business, that is in a band, that's like the biggest, as far as like income, that's like where you make your money for the most
yes,
part.
yeah,
So it's been really hard for, musicians and also crew, that's on the road and venues as well. But for us, it was kind of this weird blessing in disguise almost. I don't want to say like the pandemic was a blessing, but as far as like getting the record done, because it kind of freed everyone up as far as time, and so we were like, well, we have this time to just, we should get this done. We've been saying it for like 7 years. So if there's one good thing that came out of it, was thankfully we were able to do this, um and so yeah, we uh we're navigating that. Unfortunately, it's like it's crazy with getting CDs and vinyls made because um a lot of the manufacturer companies and stuff, everything is backed up because of COVID, and there's only like limited people working there. So So like dates to get, people ordered like physical copies and vinyl, and it's like, well, we might not have it to you for like a couple months after the release date, um so yeah, I think everyone's just navigating this and not really knowing what's going to happen because it's never happened,
No, exactly.
so
It's that kind of
everyone's just
building flames
floating.
fight, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we're just, one step at a time. And we're just thankful, that we're able to even do this, at a time like this, that we're able to put a record out and do anything music related still, like thankfully we're able to still create from home and
yeah,
do that. So, and, just to be able to put out music that hopefully, will help people through this time. I mean, depression and like even like suicide and stuff is very high right now. And so if our music could help anyone out there struggling with what's going on, like, that's what it's all about. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. I've been a big advocate for like bands like releasing stuff during this time, like the first sort of like the first wave that we had, where I think pretty much the whole world was shut. um the music was my kind of savior at that point as well, because I was able to actually absorb a lot of the music I get sent. I'm in a fortunate position being in the media, if you will, and being a DJ as well. I get sent all kinds of music and stuff, but I usually you kind of concentrate on the singles and things like that, because they're the ones that people are going to hear. But this time has given me an actual, like, got me back into listening to whole albums and like really kind of absorbing that art that guys like you have put together, for for yourselves and for people to listen to. And it's one of those things that has helped me through it, along with my family. Obviously they've been an absolutely solid rock on that front. But yeah, music is my kind of like escape, if you will. And
yeah,
along with like mental health stuff like that, it's good for that, because it activates that part of the mind where, well, just that. I guess it's just like releasing those hormones that make you happy. um,
yeah,
or at
yeah,
least
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah, or at least keeping your mind happy, or keeping it in line, because music just distracts that part of it. you know
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, but obviously bands like yourselves releasing stuff during this time. I've like this album that you've got is really good. I'm gonna like just push it to everyone I know. I'm gonna be
awesome.
sorry after
Thank
that.
you.
But no, I mean, going on to the album stuff, like there's a couple of tracks on there that I really like. I love The Hunter. I love that track.
Yeah,
That was great, and I had a guest on it as well. That I've got it written down. Keith Wallen. Sorry. There we go.
very
Um,
good. Yeah,
but there was one other track you collabed with someone with, and it was a cover. And this totally took me by surprise, because I didn't know this was on there. I hadn't read the press release. I just stick the album on and kind of, and I'm and my earwig was just like, I recognize that chorus. I recognize. And
yeah,
anyway, I looked it up, and you've covered Justin Bieber, which to obviously a lot of rock and metal fans be like, oh, but
yeah,
it's a damn fine cover. I can't knock it. And you had Lacey Strum on there as well, Sturm, sorry, on there as well, who used to be in Flyleaf, as a band I used to love as well. So how did that come
yeah.
about, that cover?
So that was me.
Oh wow.
I I I gravitate like there's that whole almost that metal elitist mindset, of
Yeah,
like rock and metal is the only good and everything else sucks, like I'm just a fan of music. I just love all different kinds of stuff. And a lot of pop stuff has like my favorite thing is like a good melody,
yeah,
so like being
yeah,
able to like put a good melody to like something heavy. Like I think Brian too, like that's our favorite thing, just like melodic but also heavy. So so I tend to listen to a lot of pop stuff too, because I just love there's incredible melodies out there in pop music. Um and I remember when this song came out, and I just loved the message of the song. I loved the melodies, like I just loved it. It was awesome. And I remember Brian did too. And it was back in 2017. I literally was just driving, and I think I was listening to the song, and I just had this idea in my head, for like just this riff, and just like, what if we like made this like heavy, or just like made this like a really cool cover, you know. So I raced home and I got on my computer and I was like, okay, I gotta like get this idea down before I forget, you know.
Yeah.
Um and I remember I just sent it to Brian. I was like, hey, just hear me out. I know it's Justin Bieber, but just give me a chance here. Just check this out. Tell me what you think. And he was all for it. And which was really exciting, you know. So yeah, we started putting that together, um and then we had the idea, you know, maybe having a guest on it, you
Yeah.
know, just to make it even cooler. Um and I know Brian's always wanted to collab with Lacey for a long time now. And so when we approached her about it, she was all for it. And she was a really big fan of the song as well. And so yeah, it just kind of came together, you know. It was like wasn't something that we thought too hard about, like, man, we need to do a cover, what should we do, you know. It was just kind of like kind of got the idea and it felt right, you know. So
No,
um
it is a damn fine cover. I was pleasantly surprised because like I'm not a fan of Bieber on that front, but you know I'm not an elitist either. I do like my wide range of music. I just not a fan of his. But
yeah.
no, I mean you made it heavy, and it's one of those songs that I love playing a good cover song during my sets and stuff. So I've
Mhm.
got like a lot of rock and metal sort of covers of various songs over the years, and yeah, that's now made it into my playlist. So
Awesome.
solid, and it's gonna shock a few people. I do a lot of live streams now, so like like, instead of because we all our clubs are closed, so we can't go out and do that. But
Yeah,
I'm doing like the online stuff through Zoom and whatnot and Twitch. So yeah, it's definitely going to get them. And the next night, it's going to get played. So
that's awesome.
it's great. I love it. No, like I said, the album's great. You've got a special event coming up in about a week and a bit. Just the day after the release date. In fact, you're doing a live stream of your own, aren't you? Or
Yeah, yeah, it's actually the day of the album release.
oh, okay.
It's on February 12th. So yeah, we were thinking, you know, it'd be cool if like the record comes out and then just immediately like later that day, let's just slam them with a live show. So but yeah, we're doing a live stream, and
Cool.
it's crazy. It's been 7 years since we've played a show, you know, so it's a little nervous, you know, but it's been cool, you know. We've been rehearsing from home, and then we've got you know, a couple days scheduled to rehearse together in person and then do the live stream. So yeah, we're really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and revisiting old songs from the past and doing a bunch of the new songs too as well. And we have some special guests that are going to like join us throughout the show too. So it'll be really cool.
Awesome, awesome. I look forward to it. I think the reason I said the 13th is because our time zones are different. So I think
Oh yeah,
when you go live,
gotcha.
I think it's going to be about 1 o'clock in the morning here on the 13th. So,
You're right. Yeah,
but it
yeah,
is available 48 hours after the stream as well, and it's only $15, which is
yeah,
great. I'm loving these sort of like this sort of thing that bands are doing now, and you guys obviously did it, and giving people a kind of an experience online to celebrate your music. Obviously the
yeah,
as well. But no, I've been a big fan of as bands like Avatar, who are currently in the midst of doing like this 4 week thing. Like every Saturday, they're doing different eras of their band with
hmm
requests and stuff. And I think Nonpoint last year did a 20th anniversary of their album Statement. And just like
yeah.
other bands are sort of adopting this live show like behind a paywall, which I think is fair. And yeah, really kind of like, you know, give it like trying to give people that experience online in this current
Yeah.
climate and stuff, which is awesome. So yeah, good kudos to you guys for doing this as well. So cool. So yeah,
Thank you.
I've
Appreciate it.
sorry, I've got a couple of questions left for you now, man, if that's all right. Before I
Yeah.
let you go, because I know I've only got you for a short while. But what I'd like to find out is a bit more about you on this front. What I want to know is what if you can whittle them down to three. What are your most pivotal albums? The one that kind of made you want to pick up an instrument, or you know, or just be in a band. What sort of like that's just an example, but what albums would those be if you could whittle them to three?
Yeah. I think the biggest one, so like my background as far as like music and when I grew up in, I grew up I didn't really listen to a lot of like rock music. per se. You know, I grew up in like a Christian home kind of environment, so there's a lot of things I really wasn't like exposed to growing up. But there was a band called Pillar, and they were like a Christian, like, you know, they're like a rock band.
Yep.
And that was the first band I heard. That when I heard their record, it was called Where Do We Go From Here? And I just remember listening to that record, and just the riffs were so cool, and I was like, I want to be able to do that. I was like,
Uh,
that's awesome, you know, just like the riffs are awesome, and I was like, I want to be able to play that. Like, this is really cool. So that inspired me to kind of like pick up a guitar. And so yeah, I remember I got a guitar for my 11th birthday, and then I just sat there and just started trying to play these songs, you know, and I ended up just learning by ear, you know, how to play. Um and yeah, just kind of ran with it from there, you know, just somehow figured out how to play guitar.
cool.
um but that was the first record that really like made me want to do it, you
Yeah.
know, because I had heard other music that I like too, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have this huge desire to like do it, you know. So there was that. And then another record, it came out, I believe it was 2015. um you might know because they're from over there. They're called Fightstar.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Firestar. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the record Behind the Devil's Back.
Yep.
Man, that record, oh my gosh, when I first heard it, I was like, this is awesome, because it was like did so well what I love, the blending of, you know, like the melodic with
Yeah.
the heavy, like that tension. And I still listen to that record like all the time. It's so good. And I remember when I first heard it, like I would just crank it on when we were driving like on tour throughout the night. You know, I would just crank that and stay up all night and drive. And um but yeah, that record is awesome.
No.
And then I mean, a lot of the records, I mean, they're pretty new, not like anything crazy like from back in the day. But the other one I would mention is probably Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh, cool.
Um, their record. Oh man, what is it? I'm blanking on the name of it. The
Uh,
one with the umbrella.
all right.
Their
Oh,
big one. No.
the big one. Yeah, I know which one you mean.
Uh,
Oh, damn it, I can't
I
remember the
got
name.
Apple Music. Let me look.
Yeah, hang on. I might actually. I can kind of, I think, reach one of their albums from here. Let's have a look. See if it's this one. Oh my god,
That's the Spirit.
that's
There
the
it
spirit.
is.
Look at that.
There it
I've
is.
got it in my hand. Right,
Yeah,
natural CD coffee. Um,
there it is. Um, but yeah, that I remember when that record came out, because I'd heard of them before. You know, they were a lot heavier, you know, and just like
yeah, they were.
it was like a totally different band. I mean, when Sempiternal came out, because that came out before That's the Spirit, and that was pretty different for them too, but it was still like still pretty heavy. But I
Yeah,
just when That's the Spirit came out, I remember just the first song,
yeah,
Doomed. Man, I was just like, this is awesome. It was just so creative, you know, just the production, and then also, you know, just how well crafted it
yeah.
was with the guitars and the vocals and everything. Like that whole record really is just awesome. And that was one that was on repeat for me too. And both of those albums, you know, because again, like with this new record, it's been like a 6-7 year process, you know, writing. So like both of those albums were really big influences while we were writing, you know, throughout the years for this new record as
Nice,
well. So
nice. Yeah, no, that it's a solid album by them. I mean, I've watching them evolve over the years. It's been because they were like noise core kind of thing to start with, very thrashy, and then they've kind of really honed a sound now. Their latest
yeah,
EP, the Posthuman one, is heavy as anything.
yeah,
It's
yeah. That's what's so cool. They are just like you're not expecting what they're gonna do, because they, you know, they did what they did with That's the Spirit, and then they came out with Ammo, and
yeah,
everyone was kind of like sidetracked by that.
yep.
And then they just came back and just crushing everyone, you know, and it's awesome. So
Yeah, it's totally opened them up for everything now, which is great. It's lovely seeing like that kind of like band evolve from the UK as well and do that worldwide. Firestar, another
yeah,
one. They were relatively local to where I live here. And
Mhm.
I remember when they kind of came about. I was in a band myself at that point, and yeah, it was a guy out of a very well known like boy band. Um,
Yeah.
and like he sort of left that and became this sort of like rock and kind of like heavy side of things in the music scene, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, you know, what's he doing?
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
they made some fine songs at that time, and I believe I think I shared a stage with them at some point. It's a bit blurry from back then, but there's a few bands I think, including Bring Me the Horizon and everything as well, and like all these bands that were around at that point. And you know, they were supporting my band at that point. And we're just one
Yeah.
of those bands that, you know, never quite made it, you know, always a bridesmaid, if you will. And but yeah, no, fantastic. I'm gonna check out Pillar as well. I haven't heard of them, so I'm always like, because when I ever ask this question to anyone, I always go back and check out these albums. Um,
Yeah.
Purely for curiosity purposes, and just to hear, you know, see if you can kind of, you know, get that moment of inspiration, or, you know, just sort of get where people are coming from and stuff. So that's really cool. So thank you
Yeah.
for those. And as you
Yeah.
saw,
Totally.
I had a CD copy of this thing, only £3.50 as well. But yeah, no, Happy Song's a great track on there. That was, I lived in the States for a bit as well, and that was on rotation on the rock stations, which was mind blowing
Yeah.
to me as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all good. So finally, got one more question for you. What are your hobbies away from music? So obviously, you know, when you're not doing anything Love and Death or with your other band or anything like that, I know you've spent a while writing for this one. What sort of other things do you get up to?
I think the biggest thing I've been trying to get into with, with everything going on is, the whole streaming thing, like on Twitch and stuff. And I haven't had a ton of time because of like the Love and Death stuff and everything. We've kept busy with it, but I have done it a little bit so far, and it's been really cool, really fun to dive into that. And whether it's just like playing video games or like there was one night I was just on there with a guitar, just playing songs for people, and it was awesome. I was on there for like 4 or 5 hours. But doing that, and I mean, honestly, even like when I'm not doing anything with band stuff, it's still music, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Like I dive into a lot of the recording side of stuff. Do like a lot of like studio session stuff from home for bands um and whatnot. So it's like when I'm not doing music, I'm doing music.
Fair enough.
um but but I guess if there's anything outside of that, I'm a big baseball fan. I like baseball, so um I've grew up watching it as a kid, so I like that.
Who's your team?
I play like baseball on my PS4. Everyone thinks it's like so boring, but I'm just like, I love it. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's a good game. It's one of the things I fell in love with in the States. I was based in Tampa, Florida, so we got the Rays,
Mhm.
who aren't, well, actually, I say they aren't the best team in the world, but last season they did all right for a team
Yeah.
that plays under a
Yeah.
10. Um, but you know, I remember going to those games and just the atmosphere at the games. I mean, it was like they were doing social distancing games before it was cool, because there was never
Yeah.
anyone there unless you're playing like the Yankees or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, baseball was a great game. I mean, it's a game of statistics as well, which kind of keep my kind of like math side of my head happy. But no, I do
Mhm.
love it. I love the video games of it as well. So it's you know,
Yeah.
it's a good fun game. Who's your team?
The Diamondbacks.
Diamondback.
I'm from Arizona, so
Cool.
we're not the greatest, but you stick with your team, no
Yeah,
matter what.
I actually went to a game, the Rays versus the Diamondbacks, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, the Diamondbacks. Well, I think they won like I think it was like 9-1. I think it was in the end.
Oh, okay.
So you completely trounced us. It was just like it was over. It was well over by the fifth innings. So, but yeah, no, like I said, I've seen the Diamondbacks. So that's good on that front. So yeah, it's a fun sport.
Yeah.
But JR, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with everything, with the album and everything. Hopefully, once things open up and you guys are available to kind of, well, when our country opens up and you can tour and things like that, if that's you know, hopefully a plan of yours, then we'll see you guys over here. I look forward to seeing it because
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this album, and I'd love to see it live. So I'm going to hopefully tune into the live stream, or at least catch a rerun of it. Um,
Awesome.
if I am up
Yeah.
at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll tune in. But family and kids and stuff is highly unlikely at the moment. But you never know. It is. We are in a lockdown, so got all the time
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the world.
Yeah,
But
play it by ear.
yeah, exactly. So JR, thank you very much, man. Yeah, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, man. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.